Welcome back to Vintage Club Conversations. Today we are thrilled to have Sara Jones, a leading solutions thought leader. Over the last 2 decades, Sara has dedicated her career to all things pre-sales and solutions engineering. She has held senior leadership roles in enterprise orgs like SAP and Zendesk, and has also sold to a variety of industries, including public sector, education, healthcare, retail, and financial services. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks, Manisha, for that great intro, and thank you for having me.
Great. So, to start and kick off things, what do you think will change in pre-sales roles in the next few years? How will this function evolve? Do you feel like there's a need to educate enterprises on the critical responsibilities pre-sales teams play today beyond just giving demos?
Yeah, that's a great way to kick off. I do see a great evolution in the pre-sales solutions role. I can remember when I first started in the pre-sales role, we were the demo monkey in the corner. We were rolled out to do presentations, to do demonstrations. We weren't considered a strategic part of the
Yeah.
pre-sales and go-to-market motion for customers. And then over time, we became a lot more strategic to sales. We became a lot more strategic for customers and have that pivotal motion in the center of the go-to-market motion where we connect marketing, customer success, sales, and product to the customer. We have a couple of toes in each one of those departments to bring all of that together for a successful customer engagement and a successful customer outcome. And I see the evolution of this being even more aligned to the customer's buying journey. In most organizations today, solutions are aligned to the win, the booking.
Yeah.
They are not typically aligned to the customer journey. And I think that most organizations are missing a trick, a big trick here, because pre-sales, we build great relationships with the customers as a part of that pre-selling motion. And then it kind of drops off. We
Yeah.
sometimes there's a really good handover. Sometimes there's not a really good handover. And all of the knowledge and trust and relationship and partnership that we build as a part of that pre-selling motion gets lost. And so I see the evolution of the role now aligning more to that customer's journey. Customers want to feel trusted, they want to feel heard, they want to feel understood. And solutions are at that pivotal point where we check all of those boxes. So why shouldn't we continue that journey? And when it comes to the education, I think that this is an interesting perspective. Solutions have never had a seat at the table.
Yeah.
We've generally either reported into a CRO or the COO. You report up through operations or you report up through sales. We've never had a separate reporting line. And I think as a result of that, we lose some of our voice. We lose the impact that we have in an organization to be able to drive specific motions for the customer. And so I do see that there is some education to be done. I think pre-sales leaders, solutions leaders need to step up a little bit
Yeah.
and have a louder voice at the table. And I do see over the next 3 to 5 years, I see pre-sales having a seat at the table next to the CRO, next to the COO. And I think that's going to be a pivotal change for SaaS in general.
Yeah, yeah. I think CSO should not only be Chief Security Officer, but CSO, there should be one more role defined CSO as Chief Solutions Officer, right? Because
Yes.
I think these days, specifically, buyers come with so much information already about the product, and it's just the pre-sales folks who have so much technical knowledge and they can actually add value in those conversations with the customers rather than just giving, high level pitch and going through the deck or just telling what the features do. Customers now really expect deep dive technical answers from pre-sales people.
Yes, they do.
So
Yes.
you mentioned that solutions engineers should be involved throughout the whole customer journey, right? Not just at the beginning. Like, how do you think a company can actually make that shift happen? Is it more of a bottoms up approach, top down approach? How do you see that happening?
Yes, I think it's a little bit of both, actually. I think that it does come down to redistributing some headcount. I would definitely be looking at your customer success organizations. And I think that if you look at organizations that leverage customer success organizations with talent that actually knows the product, then this allows that grouping of individuals
Hmm.
to have a very similar skill set. In my experience in speaking to a lot of pre-sales leaders across the industry, customer success don't really have that product knowledge that the
Yeah.
pre-sales people have. So pre-sales end up getting pulled in for cross-sell, upsell, expansion, renewal, retention.
Yeah.
So we're ending up doing a lot of that post-sales type of activity in any case.
Hmm.
So I think some analysis needs to be done at the senior level of what actually is the percentage of time that pre-sales spend in post-sales activity? And can we redistribute the headcount from customer success to pre-sales to be able to take up what that motion is, what that
Yeah.
alignment is with the customer? Obviously, that's a political landmine because you're now asking organizations to remove headcount from one department, take them to another. You definitely need to have a much higher ratio of sales to pre-sales, sales to solutions
Yeah.
in that type of a scenario. I think that you definitely still need a specific support and retention department, renewals department, less retention, so that they are focused on the
Hmm.
recontracting of a client when they come to their life cycle. But it definitely means that sales needs to be a larger organization. And in fact, there are some companies out there that are already forward thinking and doing this. Snowflake
Yeah.
is a great example of they don't have a customer success organization. They have a very large pre-sales organization and they are responsible for cradle to grave with the customer. And what that helps with is it helps with consumption and adoption. I mean, what do most CEOs look for? They want raving fans out of their customers. And how better to do that than with a department that is fully aligned throughout that life cycle through selling them initially, helping them to adopt and consume, and then to expand, cross-sell and upsell. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a natural evolution of the buying cycle from the customer's point of view.
Right. I think a lot of deals are lost because of expectation management, right? Especially enterprise deals, because the handover does not happen properly, let's say from pre-sales to account management. The expectations which actually customer has are very different, maybe than the expectations which account management thinks the customer has. So if pre-sales is taking this responsibility end to end, there will be less gap in terms of the expectations as well.
Yes, yeah, you all excellent points there, Manisha.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about, Zendesk and SAP because these are like big, great companies, right? Could you share three things they do really well in pre-sales?
Sure. Well, I do know from my colleagues that are left at SAP that they are now moving towards this motion. I have heard from several of my colleagues that pre-sales is becoming more aligned to that customer's buying journey, and I was doing the happy dance when I heard that. When I was there, the one of the things that pre-sales did incredibly well was discovery. We had a
Hmm.
very robust discovery framework that was leveraged exceedingly well to be able to really capture what the customer is looking to solve with technology. It wasn't just discovery for, how do I build a demo? It was discovery for actually what is the customer trying to achieve here? So that's one thing that SAP did really well. Another thing that SAP did really well is partnering with value engineering and being able to infuse a lot of the metrics that are needed to build a business case for software purchases. So that was really a very cool talent to be able
Yeah.
to take all of the metrics that you get from the customer, baseline them against industry standards, competitors, the market in general, and be able to come back with a rock solid business case. Another thing that was done really well was the partnership with other departments. So very
Hmm.
close alignment with marketing for demand gen. Pre-sales were always front and center at any customer event, being wowing on stage,
Yeah.
being very close to product to input industry trends, be able to hear what prospects are looking for, be able to feed back information about product roadmap direction. And I think all of those things are really critical to a successful solutions organization.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I have seen so many people in my network move roles from either pre-sales to product or product to pre-sales. It's because, pre-sales guys actually understand the product the most. And when product people, they want to be closer to the customers, they love going for pre-sales roles. So it's like very relatable there.
Yeah. I think pre-sales as well has one of the best jobs in the company for career growth because there are
Yeah,
so many different ways that you can
exactly.
jump from a solutions engineering role. You can go into product, like you just said. You can go into marketing. You can carry a sales bag. You can go into customer success. There are so many different areas
Yeah.
to launch a career from pre-sales, as well as have an outstanding career within in pre-sales itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we need to encourage more and more people to have that career in pre-sales and grow that organization, in fact.
Yes, exactly.
So you also spoke about headcount, right? The imbalance which we see in the ratio of number of salespeople to number of pre-sales people. Pre-sales folks often have to take on the job of two or more people. What do you think is the ideal ratio for sales to SEs according to you?
This is a great question. And I think I hate to use one of those answers like it depends, but
Yeah, but it really
it's,
depends.
it does depend. I am seeing a horrifying trend right now where ratios are getting a lot more squeezed this year. And that's quite disturbing to me. I like to see ratios that align to the complexity of the sale. So if you are an organization that is selling to enterprise, mid-market, and SMB, then you're going to have different ratios of solutions to sales, right? So at the enterprise level, I think an ideal ratio is 1 to 1, especially if we're taking
Yeah,
up more of that buying journey. I think at mid market, you can come down to 1 to 2 to 1 to 3 to support. And then down in the SMB space, you can probably stretch to 1 to 6 because there are a lot more volume type
yeah,
transactions. And within any organization, you can have those ratios mixed. I think it is also helpful to look at what is your revenue pool looking like. So, for example, at Zendesk, 80% of the revenue, 85% of the revenue was coming from the install base from cross sell, upsell. And I think you can have a lower ratio in that type of scenario. Whereas if you're in a startup and you're going after new logos, you're going to want a lot more pre-sales coverage
yeah.
for that because the deals are longer and more complex in that startup. So definitely back to 1 to 1. So if you look at that as kind of a matrix view, then you're looking at different dimensions of the organization. You're looking at, what's the market that you're targeting? What's your revenue base coming from?
Hmm.
And then the available resources that you have to support that.
Right. And do you also think this ratio actually not just from what is the enterprise size, but also what kind of product you are selling, right? Is it too technical product like a dev platform, like a Snowflakes is very different than selling a Zendesk platform, right? Do you
Yes,
think
yes.
there are more pre-sales people actually required when you're selling a technical, very technical product?
Yes, yes, definitely. And when I look at companies that are selling security software, then I would even
Yeah,
flip it. And maybe you would have two pre-salesperson for one salesperson, just because there's so much to cover in some of those deep technical conversations and
right.
engagements.
Absolutely. Well, finally coming on to the hottest topic of the season, and I think it's going to survive for many more seasons. Given the rise of Gen AI adoption across various functions, how are pre-sales teams starting to use AI to work better and, boost their productivity?
Oh, AI, the buzzword of the year, isn't it?
Exactly. And for many more years, I feel.
For sure, for sure. It's been fascinating watching the rapid evolution of AI over the last 18 months, with
Yeah.
just the tools that are out there to be able to help. I also want to caveat that I still think that those tools need human oversight.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're ever going to replace a human being in any aspect. But having said that, I have had great success in using AI tools for discovery. So, for example,
Hmm.
ChatGPT, it is absolutely phenomenal at helping me do a customer discovery. I can put a couple of prompts in about, ABC company being in the news, ABC company's financial situation, ABC's vision and strategy, and you immediately get a ton of information that comes back that you can then validate. So those types of tools are really
Yeah.
helping with the understanding of a customer. Tools like Beautiful AI for
Yeah.
presentations. I
I'm a
love
big
I
fan.
love
I'm a
that.
big fan of Beautiful.ai.
Yes, I think that when it comes to creating highly personalized presentations for customers, that's phenomenal. You can just dump a load of information in, and all of a sudden you get a beautiful presentation that comes back that's highly personalized, that maybe would have taken you many, many hours to build in PowerPoint or slides. So it's tools like that that I think will augment the pre-sales role
Hmm.
and really help with some of those more admin types of actions that pre-sales generally have to do as a part of their role. So I do see that as a great time saver.
Yeah, I think specifically the example which you gave with Beautiful.ai, where you have to repurpose a lot of already available knowledge and information, these tools really do a great job at.
Yes. And the other area of AI that I think is going to be great is in the knowledge base scenarios. So, one of the banes of a pre-sales life is answering RFPs and security questionnaires. And so I
Yeah.
see a great use for AI in this area, really helping to surface up relevant information rapidly rather than having to trawl through databases and previous documents to fulfill a customer requirement.
No, that is something we have seen it very closely. And in fact, even with Zendesk, you would have seen that, right? Like people upload thousands of documents on Zendesk. So fast release cycles these days, it becomes very difficult for pre-sales team to know what is the latest updated information and what's happening in the product. Since already the ratio is so biased, so we need to give them, more productivity tools till we are, getting that seat at the table and having the role of CSO in the organization, which is Chief Solutions Officer.
Yes, I'm so glad that you're a fan.
Great. Thank you so much. This was a great conversation, Sarah. I think there are a lot of takeaways for anyone in tech pre-sales and solutions. And I'm sure, people will be more motivated to get that seat at the table now.